Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Entertainment Buzz. Lots of stuff that happened this past week.
Whew, we got some big ones.
Yes, we certainly do. A lot happened in the sports world, which we'll cover in a bit, but a lot happening in Hollywood, too. A lot of award shows that we can mention and talk about, a lot of upcoming events. So why don't we take a seat? Let's find out what's hot in Hollywood. It's Friday, and that means it's payday, especially for famed wrestler Hulk Hogan. Hogan has finally accepted his settlement of $31 million after suing Gawker for releasing a sex tape of him back in 2012. This marks the end of a multi-year lawsuit, which led Gawker to be nearly stripped of everything. As we mentioned previously in our summer recap special, after filing for bankruptcy this past summer, it's no surprise that Gawker could not afford to keep up with Hogan's case, which was being partly funded by Silicon Valley billionaire Peter Thiel, who also holds a personal grudge with Gawker after being outed by the website in 2007. Many are claiming this is a win for the protection of privacy against journalists, though Gawker maintains that their position that they did nothing wrong.
I mean, they definitely did something wrong.
Yes.
I mean, Gawker especially, it's kind of funny but hypocritical back when all of the iCloud got hacked and all of these celebrities, Kate Upton, Jennifer Lawrence, all of their personal pictures came to light. They wrote articles like, no, don't share this, like, don't look at it, like, it's all wrong because you're doing this. And then they posted Hulk Hogan's sex tape, and they say, there's nothing wrong with this because it's Hulk Hogan.
Right.
But it's really testing what you say and what you do.
Exactly.
So I'm glad to see that there are actually consequences for not following your own personal mantra.
For sure.
Yeah. Now, while Gigi Hadid has been promoting her collaboration line with major fashion designer Tommy Hilfiger, the designer dropped shocking news that has many outraged. Hilfiger admitted that Gigi was made to wear an oversized poncho following the February 2015 New York Fashion Week show because the casting director decided that she wasn't thin enough. Though there seems to be no rift between the designer and model, as we can see by their recent collaboration. However, just goes to show that nobody, not even a supermodel, is safe from body shaming.
It's so horrible. I mean, she is regarded as one of the most beautiful women on the planet right now. And she is a gorgeous person. But like, just to hear that this still happens to people like that, it's really saddening.
I mean, it does say a lot to say that she's not thin. Have you seen Gigi Hadid?
Yeah.
Like, she's really small to begin with. And
Yes.
like, even just as like an average person, you say like, how much thinner can you like get without losing, like personal health?
Yes, it's where it gets dangerous.
Yeah.
And it just shows the prevalence of this unfortunate thought process in Hollywood. So hopefully it gets better. We want to have more positive stories talking about this kinds of stuff. Apple, Rainbow, Rocket. Random words or celebrity kid names. This week it was revealed that Ellen DeGeneres was actually the one who came up with the name for Adam Levine and Bahati Prinsloo's daughter, Dusty Rose. Levine stated that he was texting Ellen ideas for baby names, as one does, obviously, and that she hated his original choice, which is kind of funny. The comedian and talk show host then gave Levine a couple names to think about, Dusty Rose being one of them. Levine was quoted saying, if anyone needs to name their child, Ellen's really good at it. It's a bizarre story, really.
I mean, it's funny because it's like, oh, Ellen named my kid, but named it Dusty. Like, that's not a kid name. That's like a 70-year-old man who's like kind of gone through the tough times. And
Who's a baseball manager.
Yeah, I mean, Dusty Baker.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Just having a random person name your child, I think, is kind of weird. Like, that's kind of something that you and your family kind of like think about and really discuss. It's something important. Just be like, oh, I think this funny woman should do it. It's kind of a weird thought process, but I mean, as long as they're happy, I guess.
I like to think Dusty Rose is going to grow up and just be like, Ellen,
yes,
why?
She'll have this hatred for her, but I guess
That'll
we'll
be
have to
funny.
wait and see.
If you had to name my kid, what would you name it?
Carl.
Carl? It fits. Have you seen me? Now, it almost seemed as though the nation was watching a Hollywood sports movie for the ages this past week as the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians faced off for 7 games in this year's dramatic World Series. Though the action was on the field, we couldn't help but notice all of the celebrity fans who came out to root for their favorite team. Among those in the ballpark throughout the series were LeBron James and Drew Carey rooting for the Indians, while Brett Eldridge and Amy Schumer cheered on the Cubs. But no one seemed happier than Bill Murray after Game 7 when the Cubs finally got to claim the Commissioner's Trophy after 108 years.
It's really interesting to see everyone come together, even people in Hollywood. I mean, a lot of people were pulling for the Cubs. I know that you, as a big Chicago sports fan, was as well. But especially just as a random note, Jim Harbaugh, ever since he showed up at the World Series, the Cubs didn't lose a game. So we're going to go with that as a theory for why they won. But it's a lot of fun, especially breaking a big drought like that and seeing all the celebrities get involved and just showing that sports is really a shared experience was really fun.
Especially with Bill Murray, because, I mean, he's getting kind of old now, and, like, you can go way back and you see that he's always been, like, through thick and thin, he's always been there. So it was nice seeing him actually, like, tear up.
Yeah, he's always had that blue hat on, so it was really satisfying to see it.
It was just so cute. I love Bill Murray.
And so this was actually just reported today. On January 8th, 2017, Meryl Streep will be receiving the famous Cecil B. DeMille Award. Of course, it probably won't be the only one that she wins. With Florence Foster Jenkins being widely praised, the DeMille Award is given to a person who has made an outstanding contribution to the world of entertainment. Streep definitely has done that, and congratulations from all of us to one of the best talents of all time. It really is deserving.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think of anyone who's done more for acting than Meryl Streep. Like, she's broken down so many borders, and she's, just kind of pushed the role of women further, especially in just this modern patriarchal society.
Yeah, and she's really a role model for all these young women to look up to really go after what you want in life, to really drive and go against the system. And a lot of her characters do that. She plays a lot of strong women. And it's really great for the industry, especially in an industry that really kind of hinders, actresses in some ways and kind of puts them down. It's really great to see someone like her be awarded something so great.
Yeah, and especially now that you see the aging curve, as women get older, typically they're casted less. And, she's probably going to win an award for Florence Foster Jenkins. She's winning this award. Like, is there really anything she can't do at this point?
There's not much. There really isn't. She can do a lot. She has that really, she's able to delve into her characters very well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that's something that really wins her a lot of awards because she's able to truly encapsulate the characters that she's trying to play.
Now, don't leave, but coming right back, we will have some exciting news from around campus that you will not want to miss.
Come create and calculate. Shatter both records and stereotypes. Build improbable machines and impossible medicines. Unleash masterpieces and birth theories. Come because there is much to be done out there, and to be undone. Come find out everything of which you are capable. Come believe in something greater than yourself. An experience unlike any other awaits you here. Here, dreams are in need of your voice. Fragile ideas await your strength. Come answer this call. Join this assembling of minds. Put your grand imagination to work. Come let your visions rattle these walls and help move the world forward. Come join the leaders and best, the victors valiant. Come to Michigan.
Welcome back to the Entertainment Buzz right here on WOLV TV. It's Parents Weekend here in Ann Arbor, and we've got a list of some of the best things to do with Mom and Dad. Go out to dinner literally anywhere, but let's hope it's someplace on Main Street. Odds are the parents are buying, and what's better than ditching ramen noodles for a sweet, sweet steak from the Gandy Dancer? Aim high, why not? Pro tip, if you really ham it up at dinner, your parents may fear you're living on saltines and might even take you grocery shopping.
I am living on saltines right now, so it's gonna be nice. I'm gonna take my parents out to dinner. Probably not Gandy Dancer, but I'll settle for spots at this point. Now, maybe the national sports aren't quite up to your liking, so no fear. The women's volleyball team takes on Northwestern at 7 p.m. on Saturday. The number 17 Wolverines will look to extend their dominance over the Big Ten in what will be a great time for you and your parents. It's at Cliff Keen Arena, and it starts at 7 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. The volleyball team's really good, and there's like a lot of like culture that goes into it. Like it's not a football game. It's not as like big, but they still do a lot of the same chants and a lot of the, even more, really.
Right. I'm going to have to make it.
It's going to be fun.
Yep. Well, perhaps fine music is your entertainment of choice. If so, head on down to Hill Auditorium to see the university and campus bands playing pieces from the Renaissance period, as well as today. The event takes place 3 p.m. this Sunday in the historic venue and is totally free, so go ahead and check it out.
Did you say free?
Free.
You piqued my interest. It's going to be great. I'm really excited. My parents really like Renaissance music, which is really weird. But at this point, I have nothing to lose. So if your parents are anything like mine, they always want to take a trip into the M-Den whenever they venture on campus. Be sure to check out the new Nike merchandise, including the redesigned Michigan basketball jerseys, or grab a shirt celebrating the Michigan Bicentennial in 2017. Maybe if you're good, your parents may pick up the tab. I mean,
that's what I always hope,
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I mean, they're Nike. It's expensive, but let's hope my parents love me.
Right. I'm sure they do.
Okay,
They do.
Okay.
Of course, the #1 activity to do with your parents this weekend is to go to the game against Maryland. Whether they're alumni or cheering for Michigan because their favorite child attends the university, there's no better way to go blue than to go to the Big House. If you couldn't snag tickets, however, head out to one of the bars like the Brown Jug or Hopcat and enjoy the game on the big screen.
I'm excited. It's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a great game. Let's just hope we can stay undefeated. Well, that does it for this week's Around the U, but coming up, we have our takes on what you guys should be looking out for on the screen.
Got to the University of Michigan, I went to Festival.
I first got involved on campus through an organization called ALMA, which stands for Assisting Latinos to Maximize Achievement.
My RA in East Quad, she invited me to join the Residence Halls Association.
I first got involved on campus actually at orientation,
researching when I actually did my admissions process at the University of Michigan and saw that there was something called the Michigan Learning Communities.
My friend, she was the president of Noir Fashion Show.
I actually am the founder of the organization that I'm representing.
It all really happened just because I was kind of following, well, it's cliche, but I mean, I was following my heart.
Welcome back to the Entertainment Buzz. I'm back here with Josh to give you all the latest news in television and film. If you're a Parks and Recreation fan, you were probably freaking out this past Wednesday when the Cubs won the World Series. As it turns out, Parks and Rec actually predicted a Cubs World Series win back in 2015. In their finale episode, which is set in 2017, one character states, "Everyone's in a really good mood now because of the Cubs winning the World Series." Michael Schur, one of the show's co-creators and an avid baseball fan, personally wrote this line himself. And when asked about the prediction, he stated, quote, "It's not like I was the only person who thought the Cubs were going to be good." We still think that was pretty impressive, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, personally, I had been winning at the beginning of the season, so, who's really the winner here? But it does make it really significant that they called it even before.
There was also a tweet that I found watching the Game 7.
Oh, yeah.
And someone predicted 2 years ago that Cleveland and Chicago would be in the World Series.
And Game
which
7.
is in Game 7, and it would go to extra innings.
Yeah.
Which is nuts when you really think. But when you really think about it, there's millions of people tweeting, so you could have just came up with anything.
I mean,
but the fact that someone hit it is still fun.
That's still, the odds were so low.
Yes.
It was really cool. Did I mention the Cubs won the World Series? They weren't the only winners this week, though. Medea was too. Boo, A Medea Halloween was a huge hit at the box office. Although critics haven't exactly praised the movie, and I mean, can you blame them? Loyal fans of the series continue to show their support. After just 2 weekends in the theaters so far, the film has raked in $56.5 million domestically on a mere $20 million budget. Thanks to the success of the film, Lionsgate has already agreed to partner with Tyler Perry on yet another Medea film in the future. Do we need more Medea movies?
I mean, if people enjoy them and they want to go see them in the movies, there's no harm here. I mean, I am a film student, but I also just enjoy films that make people laugh and that people enjoy like that. They don't always have to be snooty, amazing dramas. They can be something fun and innocent like this. And the fact that it's making money means that it is working, so it's smart on Lionsgate, actually.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Tyler Perry is really funny.
Yeah.
I laugh at the Medea movies every time. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. But, like, there are just so many of them. I did not think Boom Medea Halloween was going to be good. And I still was taken just on this emotional journey. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It'll make you say, why did I go to a theater to see a Medea
I'm waiting
movie?
for them to just start hitting all of the holidays. Like, there'll be like a Veterans Day one for no reason. But you know what? More power to him. One of the hottest stories this week revolves around the new film from Oscar winner Ang Lee, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. Any film by the accomplished director would generate buzz, but this particular piece is drawing extra attention for their extremely high frame rate the film was shot at. Forgoing the usual 24 frames per second, Lee experimented with 120 frames per second shots, something that many critics found distracting when using in the previews, and it hurt their movie-going experience overall. If you're looking to see the film, there's no need to worry, as most theaters that are playing the film will be playing the film in its normal 2D 24 frames per second version. It's really interesting. I like trying to change the technical aspect rate, different things, playing with aspect ratios. But I mean, I think Peter Jackson changed the frame rate in the Hobbit movies, and it was distracting for some people. He had to add blurs back into the movie because it was just distracting to the eye. A lot of critics really said that this was distracting. I mean, 120 frames every second versus 24 is a big change.
Big difference. I could see them going with somewhere in between, maybe a little bit more than 24, not quite 120. But this just seems like an overshoot, and it does. I can see why it's distracting. There's a lot of movement going on, and it's hard for your brain to process all of that. So I'm glad that they're not, forcing it down your throats in theaters.
Well, especially because there's only a handful of theaters that can't even do that.
Oh,
that even have the playback that actually is synced well enough to do that. So, but it is an Ang Lee movie, so a lot of people will see it, and my guess is it's probably pretty good.
It's probably going to be good. Now that Halloween is finally over, it's time for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever holiday you want to celebrate. And you know what that means. Tons of Christmas-themed films. Almost Christmas, starring Gabrielle Union, Jesse Usher, and Danny Glover, is set to be one of the funniest movies of the season. In the film, a beloved patriarch asks his family members for one gift for the holiday season to get along. Now, considering the dysfunctional nature of the group, it will be a miracle if they can make it to Christmas without killing one another. See if this family can keep it together when Almost Christmas hits theaters on November 10th. A little bit early for a Christmas movie, but
it certainly is. I mean, when you see the stores that are pulling out Christmas stuff even before Halloween is over, I mean, it just makes sense that films would also back up the release dates. But I mean, Hollywood loves their holiday films because people love holiday films. I mean, as long as you get people together, especially all these stars that you listed, Gabrielle Union, Danny Glover. I mean, putting those people together, and especially in a dysfunctional family, it usually relates in great comedy. So it should be a fun one to watch.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I can't, there's just a lack of Boxing Day movies now. Like if this was almost Boxing Day, I feel like it'd be a little bit more of a box office success. But it'll have to settle for however well it does on November 10th.
Exactly. We'll have to wait and see. We'll let you know next time.
Yeah.
So that does it for this week's episode of the Entertainment Buzz right here on WOLV TV. For up-to-date entertainment news and commentary, plus behind-the-scenes videos that you simply can't find anywhere else, be sure to check us out on vimeo.com/WolvTV. You can also shoot us an email at wolv.ebuzz@umich.edu. Be sure to like us on Facebook as well. For the entire cast and crew, I'm Jake Ferguson, and you have just been buzzed.